Welcome back to Anmoll Astrology channel. Now, today's video is about the conjunction of Sun, Saturn, and Mercury that is going to happen in the sign of Aquarius on 12th of February. And till 27th of February, three of these planets are going to be together in the sign of Aquarius before Mercury leaving into its debilitation zone in the sign of Pisces. And after that, Sun is also going to leave this particular conjunction um, on 14th of November, I suppose, 2025. And then Saturn ultimately is going to leave the sign of Aquarius on 29th of March. So, on a whole, the conjunction of these three planets are going to take place from 12th February to 27th February for approximately 15 days. So we are going to understand how this conjunction is going to affect us in transits. But before that, let's just understand what does this conjunction means if you have it in your natal chart or even your Navamsha chart. Some gist of it is also going to be there, right? So Sun, Saturn, and Mercury. So first of all, Sun is the planet which represents our soul. It is the planet which represents our pride, our confidence, self-esteem, and it is the natural ruler of the fifth house. So it also talks about creative self-expression, not just creativity, but creative self-expression, your dependability, your fame, and your personality, your persona. How does people represent you, or how does people understand your personality? Then we have Saturn. Saturn is the natural karka of our career. It is the planet of service. It is not the planet of misery, but it is the planet of your karma. It is actually a planet that gives us the fruits of our karma, whether it is good or bad. So we cannot just say that Saturn gives one misery. It just gives one person, if they are not doing good karmas, it is going to give you punishment. If you do good karma, it is going to bless you with everything you want. That's why it is the lord of the 11th house, fulfillment of our desires. That this is one of the planet who is responsible for fulfillment of your desires. Sometimes, I just got to remember one person. I remember, like months ago, I believe, there was a news that there is a very, very rich person who has inherited a lot of wealth, right? And then he just, uh, you know, gave away all of the wealth so as to become a monk. I certainly do not remember his name, but I remember that he is a foreigner. He's from another country, and he just pledged all of his assets so as to become a monk. So that's why you may have a lot of money. That is not what you have desired. Maybe you did not desire, but you have inherited a lot of money. That's not a part of your desire, but you have inherited money. So Saturn represents what you desire, and if you will be able to get what you desire. That's why your karma has to play a very important role. Your career has to play an important role so as to for you to achieve what you desire. It's not solely responsible for wealth. You may inherit wealth, but you might not desire that wealth, or you might desire a lot of wealth, but you might not have it. So that's two different things. So Saturn is the planet of organization, restriction. Saturn gives you focus, determination, just like Mars. But Saturn is determined and focused towards certain goals. And it's not that you are ambitious and you want to achieve them. You're practical, and practically you just desire to achieve them. You work, you give your service so as to complete those particular agendas or those particular desires of yours. So Saturn is the planet of organization. It's the planet of service. How humble you are, how grounded you are, how practical you are. Saturn is also the planet responsible for your authority, since it is a planet that rules the 10th house, and it also rules the 11th house. So your social image is also being affected by Saturn. Now, lastly, we have planet which is Mercury. Mercury, we know it is the planet of our intellect, a planet of communication, a planet who is responsible for our deaths. It's all about numbers, calculation, understanding, smartness, your intelligence, your intellect. It is the planet which helps you build a communication. It's the market person. It's a prince. It's youthful. It is curious. It wants to know a lot of things. It wants to gather information. So when these three planets come together, what does happen? And especially when they come together in the sign of Aquarius. So first, let's talk about their conjunction. So Sun was the father of Saturn, right? And whenever Sun and Saturn come together, it's like father and son are coming together. So usually what happens, how is the relationship of a father and a son where one is very egocentric and another is grounded and fair? Son is dependable, but son is partial as well. Son would always prioritize the ones he loves or the ones he feels good about. Like I was back, just a few hours ago, I was actually watching the episodes of Shani, which used to come on Color TV. And I just randomly wanted to just go through all the episodes once again. So there I got to understand by watching the first episode, the very first episode, that Sun was very determined to, you know, take care of all the people who were there in the Surya Loka. But he was equally passionate to not let the Asuras have what is not meant for them. Because he believed that all the luxuries of the Surya Lok were just for the Devas. That's why Sun is a bit of partial. But Saturn was always associated, or he always wanted to do what's the best for a person, regardless of if he's a Asura, if he's a Devata. If a person is Asura by nature, but still he does something good for someone, he's going to bless him. But if someone is Devata, and is at the highest position, but is doing, you know, it is doing something bad to the other people, he is going to punish it. So similarly, there is a lack of similar opinion with the authorities whenever Sun and Saturn come together, whenever they are in a conjunction. It's like that now you have to fight and prove your self-worth. When Sun and Saturn are together, both of them actually work together towards achieving what they want. It's like the fifth lord is being connected with the 10th and the 11th lord. That's why you would use your creativity, you would use your creative self-expression so as to become recognized in your society, in the outer world, and in your career. So whenever there is a conjunction of Sun and Saturn, a person is a very skillful. And these people would always want to choose a career that is either based on their skills, their creation, their education, or they would want to choose a career where they have very good authority and they make their own rules. So whenever I see a conjunction of Sun and Saturn, I either see a person who is at a government post, and that too at a very higher hierarchy, or I simply see a person who just refuses to go by the societal norms and just starts their own company, their own hierarchy, with their own rules. So, on a whole, such a person is always going to look for authority in life. Along with that, they are willing to work for it. See, when there is a lone sun is all about how to create comforts. You just, if suppose there's a room, right? There's a couch. Sun, if there's a lone sun, he would just use the couch and just relax over there. If there are Sun and Saturn both, Sun will feel a little bit uncomfortable for taking up the authority there. Saturn will say that you will be able to enjoy the fruits of that couch, the relaxation on that couch, only if you deserve it. That's why now here Sun has to prove Saturn that I deserve it. I deserve that throne. I deserve that couch. I deserve that relaxation time on that couch. So you work towards it. And then after working, after proving yourself, you reach to that throne and you just mark your territory on that throne. So that's why nothing comes easy for a Sun and Saturn individual whenever there's a conjunction of Sun and Saturn. In their career, specifically, in their public image specifically, they have to earn respect. They have to make an effort and get recognized. But their focus, their ultimate focus is always to go on the top. Another thing that comes to my mind when I see Sun and Saturn conjunction, I'll come to Mercury as well here, but let's just talk about these two planets first because that's a very important conjunction. So another thing that comes into my mind when I see a chart and I see Sun and Saturn are together, that is sacrifice, that is compromise. Because when Sun and Saturn come together, there has to be some compromise there. And most prominently, it activates the sign of Capricorn. Whenever this conjunction happens, it just activates the sign of Capricorn. And it also activates, sorry, that's with Mercury. But when Sun and Saturn come together, it activates the sign of Capricorn. So that's why you have to put in your efforts. You have to do certain karma. You have to crunch your ego, crunch your self-esteem so as to reach on top. So there's always a sacrifice that is required on your end. There's always a compromise that is required on your end. Whenever I see this conjunction being associated with the seventh house or maybe the Navamsha, there is a compromise. Your marriage will happen out of compromise, or you'll have to settle for someone, right? So another thing is also there that whenever there is Sun and Saturn together, there can be some hidden aspects to that area. So if it is in the seventh house or somehow connected with the seventh house, there has to be some hidden aspect there. There has to be something hidden regarding either the personality of your spouse, or whenever you get married, there can be some hidden things that is there in regards of the spouse that they might not want you to know. right? Now, again, since Sun is the pride, self-esteem, and Saturn is direct, it's fair, it's straightforward. So it would want to crunch your ego. It would also bring in embarrassment for a person. Whenever this conjunction is associated with the eighth house or the second house, whenever I see this, I tell a person that you are going to have a fight or a battle-like situation for your properties, for your inheritance. But you are going to be a person who's going to become extremely wealthy and you are going to be earning from rental income. So this is a combination where a person gets the opportunity from earning through fixed assets, fixed sources. So these people always have good amount of gold, and these people always have assets, money actually invested in the form of assets. Right? Now, if Mercury also joins this conjunction, when Mercury joins, it's now the fifth lord being conjunct with the 10th and 11th, and also the sixth and the third house. Now, when Mercury also comes here, your communication becomes extremely direct. A person will look for job or expertise where they can use their expertise and knowledge to take it as a part of their career. These people are curious about politics. These people can be, these people are like chameleons. If Sun does not have the lowest degrees, if Mercury has the lowest degrees, these people, are absolute chameleons. You put them anywhere, they are going to adjust into that box. You put them in any box. You give them any situation in their life, they are just going to go through that. These people use their communication or use their efforts or use their skills so as to go on top in their career. These people can be, you know, excellent critics. Okay, they are judgmental, but their judgment is very fine and on the point. This person is quite knowledgeable and they always look for a career which involves a lot of knowledge, information, and technical skill. These people do very well with calculations, but calculations so as to make certain investments, so as to how to multiply money or how to get a long-term growth. Not like a person who is good with shares and or speculation or gambling or stuff like that. Not just short-term ones, they actually focus on both. It depends which of the planet has the lowest degree here. If it's Saturn, then they are going to be very keen and very knowledgeable with where to invest money for long-term gains. If it is Mercury, then it is for quick gains. So one thing that you would see is that these people have a personality which is quite dual and quite adaptable in nature. And their communication can be one of the strongest and also one of the weakest aspects of their personality. Why weakest? Because if this is a very close conjunction, then these people can be easily misunderstood for their personality, for their nature. Because ultimately, Sun is there, the karka of your personality. And Saturn and Mercury do not have any gender. That's why they are considered as the most dual and adaptable planets. When they come with Sun, they would let you just dive here and there. Now, ultimately, if this conjunction happens to be in the sign of Aquarius, now the Lord of the fifth house, third house, sixth house, 10th house, and 11th house is coming in the 11th house, the original sign of Aquarius, which is ruled by Saturn. Now, if we do not consider the degrees, then Saturn rules this conjunction since it is in the Mool Trikon sign. This is the sign for public, people, large organizations, corporates. First of all, this conjunction is, if a person has this conjunction in the sign of Aquarius in their natal chart, they are going to be in such a career, or they will have such a goal in their life that they want to discover something. They want to do something in life which can actually be as a result for the advancement and for the benefit of large population. That's why with this conjunction, a person can be a scientist. Even if they are an IT engineer, they are going to be into some innovation, innovative criteria. Like, for example, this is a person who wants to start up a new application, for example. Like, before Zomato came in, no one knew that there could be there was Uber Eats, but it was not actually available everywhere. And as per my knowledge, I don't think there was any other app which was as prominent as Zomato is to deliver food from restaurants to the home. So this was actually an idea that the CEO of Zomato had, and he pursued that. And of course, if you would have seen a little bit of interviews of the CEO of Zomato, you would know that that person is very much considerate of how, just a second, yeah, of how his employees are benefited, at the same time his clients get benefited in the form of discounts. And I remember watching one of his reels where he actually went, he became the a delivery guy for one day so as to experience what does his workers do experience in the actual practical world. That is how this combination, this particular conjunction is the best example for this individual. I don't know if he has that in his chart or not. I don't have his details, but this, when I saw all of it, and then when I connected the dots, I could think of this conjunction in the sign of Aquarius. Another thing you would see whenever this conjunction comes in the sign of Aquarius, these people are hideous. These people have a lot of secrets within them. They have, if you are, suppose you are anyone, a woman or a guy or a man, and you are interacting with a person with this conjunction, and you are feeling why they are ghosting you or why they are unresponsive, or sometimes they are very much involved in the relationship, sometimes they are not, then this is the reason. Whenever there are certain planets and very prominent planets in the sign of Aquarius, they are extremely introvert, especially during their childhood. And if this conjunction gets connected with the seventh house, they absolutely do not know how to confront the opposite sex in the relationships. That's why rather than just having a clear communication, they will just ghost you. Suppose this conjunction is in earth signs, then they would have been more communicative and straightforward about their likings and about what they want, etc., etc. But now we have that in the sign of Aquarius, which is co-ruled by Rahu, and it has some hideous part to it. That's why these people are hideous and they can have a tendency of ghosting, of finding it very hard to confront. Another thing, since this is in the sign of Aquarius, these people will do wonders for the society. They always want to help the ones in need. They always want to help NGOs. They want to do something. And what they just do not donate money. They can be philanthropists. But I think we call it philanthropists. Whatever the pronunciation is, I would understand my point. So, not just with money, but with their skills, with their business, these people are going to fulfill that motto. Mercury is also the karka of business. And when Sun and Saturn come with Mercury, this individual would want to involve innovative ideas into their careers, into their business. And they are willing to bow down their ego at certain points, and at certain points, they are willing to put up their authority. So these people are excellent negotiators. Right? So you may not see this person to have a lot of friends. And somehow while talking about this video, I am thinking that let's divide this video into two parts, because I think there's a lot of information that I have to communicate about Sun, Saturn, and Mercury. But I'll try to keep this video a little bit of, not more than 30 minutes at least. I don't know how much time has gone till now. And let's have another video for just the transits. But, this conjunction, this person can do much of the things. And, since Saturn is the natural karka of one's career, Sun and Mercury coming with it may actually not let their career to be stabilized. These are those individuals who might, and especially I'm talking about in Aquarius, these can be individuals who might start with a job and then suddenly, after 5, 6, maybe 10, maybe 15 years into corporate, into job sector, into working in different countries, they would realize that I have experience and I have talent of innovation. Why don't I start something of my own? Why don't I take my idea to the public and do something directly for them? These are those individuals. After being so much for so many years, being into corporates or being into jobs, they will choose to go for businesses. But most of the times, these people would have to work hard, because how did we started this particular video? They have to prove themselves. So as to prove themselves, they first have to gain experience. This is very practical thing I'm telling you. Go and check the charts for those who have this conjunction, and you would agree to this fact that this is something they have experienced in their life, in the part of their career. Okay, now next, these people experience sudden transformation, especially in their career and also within their stability of life. These people would also have sudden recognition at points in their life. Especially this happens in the 34th year, or also you would see that this might happen in their 30th year, even 32nd year. So all these 30 to almost 36th year, all these 6 years are very prominent for these individuals as part of their career. But specifically these three ages. Along with that, you would see these people are always subject to politics. Whether this politics is within their life or this politics is with their relatives, their family life, or especially with their career. They have to somehow, it's not that they have to be involved with the government politics. Wherever they go, politics is surrounded around them. Okay. Now, lastly, after the birth of their first child, these people experience a bit of a shake within their life. So, this transformation in their life actually comes in with with the birth of the child, right? Another thing you would see is that these individuals would either sell or significantly purchase an asset, and especially after selling, sorry, not sailing, after selling something in their name, they might repurchase something else, or there has to be some uh, transactions that they significantly make after the birth of their first child or during these important 6 years, I'm saying. They would sell something in their name and then repurchase something else or invest their money in something significant or something like that. Right? But you would see that these people are very mindful of their spendings. They know how to manage their money in such a way which is going to let them enjoy money by investing money. So they earn money through money. I hope you're getting my point here. So if, for example, you have this conjunction right now, and you're thinking that, oh, I did not have this much money, I do not have this much money currently. So this is not something that they do overnight. Since because of Saturn's involvement, this happens over a longer period of time. So ultimately, when you'll reach 40 plus, then you'll be able to understand what I'm trying to say here. Because then you'll actually complete whole of this journey and reach to that point where you would experience this. But on a whole, this conjunction is for greater success and greater changes. Okay, so guys, that was my analysis about Sun, Mercury, and Saturn conjunction in the sign of Aquarius. So I'll post another video about the transits, that how this is going to affect in the transit and to all the zodiac signs. Okay, so see you in the next video. And if you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And if you guys would like to have your personal readings, you can check out the link below in the description box, www.anmollastrology.com. And under the reading section, you can book a personal reading for yourself. Under the unique reading section, you can book a unique reading for yourself. Okay, so see you next time. Bye bye. Take care.